What is up, y'all? I am so excited for today's live. Before we get started, I am a reseller. My whole channel is focused on reselling content, mainly on data analytics and doing reselling as a business. It's same on my Instagram business tips. I have 2 analytical dashboards for the reseller to help you look at your sales and decide what is working well for you so that you can hit your monetary goals, because something different works for everybody else. Something different works for everybody. So links for all of that stuff is down below. But today I am doing a live. And the purpose of these, I'm doing them once or twice a week because there is so much knowledge in the community. And just because you don't have a YouTube channel or you don't have, 50,000 followers or whatever it is, doesn't mean that you have useful information to share. So I'm doing a live to help get that information out there, and we can learn so much from each other by just talking and having these conversations. So I am excited today to have on NewYorkPosher, Regina of NewYorkPosher, and Perri of part of Perri and I'm. It's a mom and daughter duo. And today we are talking about reselling apps. And then we'll also get into a little bit of social media as it relates to reselling, I think. But we're going to be showing you and talking to you about all the apps that we use in our reselling business. If you have questions or you want to share apps that you have with us as well, definitely make sure to post on the comments. I am really bad about it. So Regina and Perri, if you can help me keep an eye on the comments. Sometimes I get so into the conversation. So without further ado, let's add, I'll do a little bio. NewYorkPosher, Regina, and you just moved to Nashville, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to keep the name, right? And
I'll probably rebrand eventually, but
yeah, it's so hard. Like we'll get into this if we need to, but like my name is so old and I'm like, I don't want to ever change it because I have it everywhere. Anyway, lives in Nashville now, but was from New York. She resells on Poshmark and Mercari for just over a year. And she has like 17,000 followers on Instagram. So I want to know how she's done that in a year, because it's like, I want to learn all those things, even though that's not the purpose of this one. She's here and I want to talk to her about it. She just started full-time. So we'll chat about that a little bit as well. She has a husband and a dog in Nashville and has a blog and designs custom cards for other posh babes and loves doing upcycling projects. So I am going to let you, if there's anything that I miss, cover that, and then tell us a little bit about how you got your name and how you got into reselling.
Yeah, so I started an Instagram account and I wanted to just model clothes out of my own closet that I was planning on selling on Poshmark. And I started following other Poshmark sellers on Instagram, and I realized they were all reselling clothes. They were going to thrift stores and they're reselling them on Poshmark. And I was like, that's genius. Yeah. So that's basically how I got into reselling. It was through Instagram. And so I was just consistent on Instagram.
So had you been thrifting before, or was that like your first
time? I like grew up thrifting. My mom would take me to thrift stores, but I just never thought to like resell those on Poshmark. Yeah, I was already on Poshmark, already thrifting, just didn't put the two together.
That's so I started with upcycling. So I would buy things at the thrift store and then change them. And I put some of my stuff on Poshmark and I was like, oh, like I don't have to change it. I could just straight sell it. That's so easier. But it's like less creative, so there's good and bad to it. But it was like clicked to me too, like, oh, like you could just straight resell. So much easier. I'm waiting I always ask that question because I'm waiting for the person to be like, I just started thrifting like 6 months ago. But because people are like, I grew up thrifting. And so they kind of already know how it works. I am Perri. I do have you on mute because I keep getting some feedback from you. So if you're talking and it sounds like we're not listening, you gotta have to unmute it. So Perri is part of the mom and daughter duo. And I love this story. I'll let her tell us a little bit more about it. But she started working with her mom to help her mom retire. So they are doing full-time, and her mom was able to retire off of her Poshmark income, which is so cool that she did that as like supporting her mom, and she's able to retire and do this as a gig. She started in 2013, kind of out of her own closet. I feel like that's kind of the theme of Poshmark. 2017, she officially started poshing with her mom. So I'm going to let her tell us a little bit more about how that journey has been, and then how she got her name and how she got into reselling. Oh,
I am unmuted. Can you hear me? Okay. So I am Perri. As Sarah said, I'm one half of the mother-daughter duo. I posh with my mom, Laura. And what did you want to do first? How we got our name? Just kind of how everything transpired? All right. I talk a ton, so I try to stay on track. A little bit of backstory behind our name. Air and Ivy. Air kind of relates to me, and the Ivy is kind of my mom. I'm the air sign. She's the earth sign. Growing up, my mom's an artist. She was always an artist, but growing up, she always sold art on the side around holidays, anytime we needed extra income. And whether it was jewelry making or painting, she like always put a little vine of ivy in, and it was kind of her trademark. Okay. And in the house we grew up in, we had these massive ivy plants, and she ran them to go like all around the ceilings and around pillars in our home. And it was kind of like a secret garden vibe. I've always associated ivy with my mom. So I knew going into business with her, that had to be part of it. And then the air part, we kind of say like we're fueled by sun, sand, sea, and ocean air. We're super beach people, grew up in New Jersey right by the beach, and now I live 7 blocks from the beach in San Diego. So I always kind of say feeling that air change, the ocean air, like whenever I'm coming over a bridge into an ocean town, I feel like I'm home. So it just totally went hand in hand, represents both of us, and fit in perfectly together. So
San Diego is like the dream city. And I don't know if it's just me, but like, and that's why it's so expensive, but like you're so close to the beach and has the perfect weather. And yeah. So my husband was born in Jersey. He said he's an East Coast.
Yep. I've been in San Diego for 15 years now, but I definitely, especially when I'm excited or angry or anything, the Jersey comes right back out.
I know my husband has a Boston accent, and he told me I was on a podcast.
My boyfriend's from Boston.
Oh, really? How funny! So does he say Wicked? He keeps telling me yesterday I was on a podcast.
All the time.
Like, oh, it's wicked good, and I was like,
absolutely. And my boyfriend doesn't have the typical Boston accent that most people are familiar with. He was born in Allston, and he spent time in high school in New Hampshire, so he doesn't have the super thick accent, but that's when it comes out with the wicked. Oh, that's wicked cool. And I'm like, stop that.
Well, my husband, his parents were divorced, and his dad and stepdad were both military, so he kind of traveled all around. So it's not heavily, but like every once in a while it comes out, and I think it's cute. But Ashley Jackson says she was born in San Diego as well.
Very cool. Yeah, my accent's changed so much because I've been here for 15 years. And when I first moved to San Diego, I had to learn to really slow down.
Yeah.
And now I've got this weird mix of even people back out East Coast are like, what's that accent? I'm like, I don't know anymore.
So tell us how you kind of got into reselling. Did you?
Okay, sure. So back in high school, many moons ago, I remember like popping on eBay and selling a random dress that I had that I didn't want anymore. Like I was just curious, and I'm like, how does this work? And I did that, and I'm like, oh, that was easy, just
like as an auction. Are you talking long enough about like it was auction or?
So I would have, yeah, we're talking like probably.
I don't want to date you. I'm not trying to date you.
It's fine. I don't mind. We're probably talking about late 90s, early, 2000 at the latest. So, so that was my first experience, and I never really did anything with it. But, again, like, I know you want to hear a news story, but I also grew up thrifting, always. Yeah. Always thrifted. So in 2013, I downloaded the app, and I think it was either one of my sisters. I have 4 and I can never keep anything straight, but either one of my sisters or one of my friends were just like, hey, I'm getting these like amazing deals on this app, download it. I downloaded it. I'm like, this is crazy. I love this. Started selling some of my own things. And I saw right away the potential for income growth. And I'm like, this is awesome, but I work full time, and I'm like, I won't ever have the time and wherewithal to put into this to actually like grow it into what I could see that it could grow into. So that hindered me for a little while. And then my mom, and she doesn't mind dating herself either. I checked. I'm like, are you okay with me sharing your age? So she's going to be 69 in May. And I love it because it really shows that like people of all ages can do this. You can hop in at any time. there's all different levels where you can be involved. And, my mom has learned, she's not huge on the social media, so I'm really kind of the face of things on social media, but she's learned all the apps, she's learned all the photography, she's like a little pro with her iPhone camera.
That's amazing, because my parents, not so much.
Yes, and that's usually the case. But it took her a little while, and she was nervous in the beginning because everything's so brand new.
Yeah.
But I think all of us experience that. Like every new app or new platform, I feel like I'm just starting from scratch again. But so anyway, back in like 2016, my mom worked in healthcare, and she was like an activities director for an assisted living facility, and she worked a lot in Alzheimer's and things like that. And she's always been a caregiver my whole life, and she's amazing, but there was no end in sight for her. She would never be able to retire, especially here in San Diego. As you said, like I barely get by. I have a great job and I run a business with my mom on the side, and we like just get by. So with that being said, the last year that she was working, she was commuting an hour each way. Like she was breaking down and crying and just like, I'm never going to be able to stop doing this. And it was just breaking my heart. And I'm like, well, I kind of have this idea. It's not something where you can just quit your job and move in with me and I can afford to pay for everything now, but like maybe we can start putting some effort into this and seeing where it goes. And within a year, we started officially as Airandivy in January, or I think March of 2017, all the paperwork went through. And by March of 2018, she put her notice in. So
that's amazing.
We were able in that year to make enough money for her to cover her living expenses. And
that's amazing.
It's incredible. And we've scaled back since then. We were doing like really high volume selling. We had like 2,500 active listings on Posh, and chugging and chugging. Yeah, totally. And then I started to notice, I'm like, hey, you're supposed to be at least semi-retired and you're still working all the time. Yeah. We have scaled back a little bit so that she can travel and spend time with her grandkids and all that stuff. But that's what I love so much about reselling. If we need to make more money that month or we want to do something extra, you get back what you put into it.
Yeah, and you can take it. Like I have not been on the app lately, and things still keep selling. Not to the extent that they used to, because I'm not on there as often, but I'm doing other things, and I'm like, oh, I'm still making money. Okay, so not to cut off. I feel like we can chat about all the things forever, but people are here to learn about the apps. Let's talk apps. Let me see. So we're kind of just gonna wing this. I'm gonna start with reselling apps. So Regina, you are on Poshmark and Mercari, right?
Yeah.
And Perri, you're on Poshmark, and is that an eBay or just Poshmark?
So I have done eBay. We're not currently on eBay. I feel it's so funny. I feel like I can be like a total pro at one platform and another one I'm like, I don't know how this works, but I'm on Mercari, Poshmark, Tradesy. I'm starting with ThreadUp Luxe, actually, and I have done things with the RealReal, but not too much. And
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to chat with you about that because I want to kind of get into that.
Absolutely.
And anyone feel free to be on topic today.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'll just never get to where we are. So, all of the apps all of those platforms have apps, correct? Everything that everyone's on.
Yep.
So let's talk about what you like to do on the app, if you can do everything on the app or if you do things on the computer as opposed to the app, kind of how you navigate around the app as opposed to like doing things on the computer.
Sure.
Whoever wants to chat is just kind of open.
Do you want to go, Regina? You want to start off?
Yeah, just on Poshmark and Mercari, I check comps on Poshmark. I follow people on Poshmark. I find that's easier to do on the app rather than the phone, rather than the computer, is to follow accounts.
Can you follow on the computer?
You can, but it's very slow. It's like click.
Yeah.
Oh,
on the phone, I use a stylus, and I'm just like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. I paid my 5-year-old to follow for me.
What was that?
I paid my 5-year-old to do followers.
Oh, that works.
And now my 2-year-old begged, Mommy, can I do followers? And the last time I let him do it, he accidentally bought a dress.
Oh my gosh.
So he has to be monitored when he's doing it.
I list on the computer and I share on the computer, but everything else I find is really easy to do on the apps.
Yeah.
Poshmark and Mercari.
And
So-
I'm actually one of those few people, like most people say they like to list on the computer, and I actually prefer to list on the app.
I go back and forth. I used to do most of my listings like while I was putting my kid to nap or while I was like on the treadmill. So like I would have everything ready and then I could just do it on my phone. As they're getting older and allow me a little bit more time, I do prefer to do it on the computer because it's easier. Like my fingers were starting to hurt.
I switched over to using a stylus a few years ago, and it changed my life. Like both my mom and I have literally jammed our fingers, like gotten to the point where I'm like, I can't do anything on the app for however long it takes for my finger to heal. So we just use a stylus now, and it.
What is that?
The little I don't even have it with me right now. So actually, so this is like a pen. It's actually a Poshmark pen. I'm trying to get in my.
Oh yeah,
it has a little stylus on the end, and you actually just do.
Yeah, I mean, like that just clicked because I have that pen, and I'm like, why is this little black ball there?
I'm telling you, you're not gonna want to go back after you do it. And now, every once in a while, if it's not right near me, and I grab my phone, and I'm like, I need my stylus.
Oh my god! Okay,
you type with your stylus. You like type with the stylus?
Oh yeah, everything. Because you're my keyboard. I'm trying to like get in the camera here. I'm not good with direction. I'm like, what direction do I need to move in?
This live has already been worth it because like my life has just been changed.
No more jamming your fingers. No more like numb finger pads. Like when you get to the point where you can't even feel if you're actually touching the screen.
Yeah, my finger starts to hurt. That's serious. Now I just have to not lose those. Okay, so you guys mostly prefer the apps. Well, you like to do sharing and stuff on Poshmark.
I don't want to get too off track, and I know we're going to talk about other programs that aren't apps, but
we can go into.
I do use List Perfectly for cross posting, but I actually mainly use it for relisting on Poshmark. And even though we've scaled back to about half, I still have like 950 active listings on Posh. So we relist pretty regularly, and when I'm relisting with List Perfectly, that's a Chrome browser extension. So for that, I do all of my relisting on the computer.
Oh, so I just started using List Perfectly to like cross post. So you have it in List Perfectly, and then you just delete it, but it says perfectly.
I actually don't even upload into List Perfectly anymore. They have the little option where you just hit copy to. So I open up Posh, and then I just hit copy to Poshmark, and it just opens up a second tab and recopies it right on the Poshmark. Post, and then delete the one in the first tab.
Wow.
Yeah, I can do
you've already taught me so much. Things that I have to do. I have it in List Perfectly because I don't track my inventory regularly. Like for tax purposes, I just do high level. And so I was like getting confused with where everything was. So I am putting it all into List Perfectly so I know which platform it's on and like.
Yeah, which is great. And I've actually thought about that, but because we go in and out of where our focus goes. Like I'll get on these tangents where like this month we're cross posting to every platform, everything we do. And then I'll kind of lose interest. And I'm in one of those downswings right now where I'm not as concerned about cross posting.
Yeah.
But I use it for relisting every single day.
Is it free? List Perfectly?
It's not free, but there are a few other, I don't know their exact pricing. I have a referral link in my bio on IG if you want to check out what they have to offer, but they do have tiered like levels and different things. I do the business version, which I think is $50 a month, but it honestly gives you like so much stuff, and they're connected to Grailed and Mercari and constantly adding. And then another option, because I used to teach people about how I relisted before List Perfectly, if you do want a free version, there's another Chrome extension that's called Split Screen, and it allows you to open up two separate tabs in two side by side. So you can just open up a Posh listing and then like open up where you would go to sell and just literally copy and paste next to each other, and then just save the pictures and upload the pictures. So that's how I used to relist.
Okay, we're having some questions coming in and I get behind. So let's see.
Okay.
Oh, Jamie Dale said she had never been to a thrift store before Poshmark. She's my one and
We found you.
So let's see. Hold on, let me read. I prefer Lovely Lotus. I prefer to draft on the computer and then use the app to add photos and follow send offers. And that's what, when I was listing, that's what I was doing. I would draft everything, or I would use a Google Doc and then just copy and paste it over when I was doing it. By Paula asked, can we use speak to text on Poshmark?
Like I'm when sure if your phone lets you, like you mean just verbally say, and then I don't know if it lets you directly into Posh, but you could probably do that in the notes on your phone and then copy paste. And I actually also use a template, which I use a keyboard shortcut. So I just have to type out 3 letters and it fills out my whole template, like condition, details, material. All that.
I started doing that the other day too. It's genius. All of these tricks to learn. You just have to be careful because Surrey never types things right.
We've all learned that the hard way, I'm sure. I think everyone has a story about, I didn't mean to say that.
Well, who was I? I was texting one of you earlier and it kept doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, that was me.
I just keep saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Okay. And no one ever means ducking. Like ever.
Not in the history of phone use.
Okay, let's see. I'm going through and seeing, people are copying and pasting. I do voice to text on my phone all the time. Okay, so far we've talked about no apps. Let's someone did ask if you can do List Perfectly on an app, and I did just see on there they had an update, and you can do a lot of things on your phone and tablet, but as of right now, you can't list or take stuff off from the app. It's strictly a Chrome extension, but they are. So I'm gonna have them on here eventually because they're like
they're so innovative. They're just constantly adding.
It's 2 women who are like doing this together, and like they're just amazing. So I like supporting them as well. Okay, platform apps. We've talked about the apps. Comps. How do you guys look up comps when you're out New York? I'm gonna call you New York. Posher, because
call her New York and call me Jersey, and when
you are looking up comps, what are there apps that, or how do you do it? What do you do?
When I specifically want to look up comps, I'll look it up just on the Poshmark app, and but sometimes I'll like look it up on Google first, and just like to get the style name, or just to get, if I'm not familiar with the like clothing company, just to like get a feel for the clothing company. And then if I want to like find the actual comps for the item, I'll use the Poshmark app.
Yeah, that's valid. And I do that for things that I don't know as well. Because if I look it up and I'm like, oh, well, this is a $50 shirt brand new, like not worth my time to look up.
Right. So I have a whole folder on my phone that's for research, and I'm telling you, I'm like, start calling me the queen of apps over here. But I actually, because I have a very like Southern California boho, whatever, I really love things like Revolve and all of that. But I've downloaded like Net-a-Porter, the Outnet, Revolve, all of those sites that I keep in that research folder, because that's a great way to see like what's trending.
What are
Net-a-Porter, which is NET-A-PORTER is one.
Okay.
So these are like fashion apps, and you can buy through all of them, but they also give a ton of information. They're at all the fashion events. Another one is the Outnet, and then Revolve, which is, I absolutely love it. So of course, a high retail price absolutely does not mean that it's going to have a great resale price. But once you kind of find your groove and you know, like, kind of what.
So are you looking at comps on these, or that's
that's something that I use just to get an idea of like what's trending right now, what brands are doing well, how much things are selling for retail. And then there's an app called Sellhound, which is free. Yeah, and if you go on Sellhound and do a search, it will actually pull up, and I've done it on my own items because Tradesy automatically runs sales if you want them to for you, and I always opt in. So I'll do a search on one of my own things, and my own thing will come up with like different pricing on this.
Good with the SEOs. Congrats.
Yes, absolutely. But it's just funny because it'll be like, this is this much on this site and this one, like, but they're both mine. So Sellhound is great for sure.
Is that where you do the majority of your comps? Like if you were to look up comps, that's where you're gonna go.
So what Sellhound will do is it will pull up the comps across multiple platforms. So I'm actually looking on the platforms, like Regina said, it's going to be Poshmark. If you go to Poshmark and sort by solds and then whatever price range you're looking in, or just in what sold most recently for what prices, or
But so I use Sellhound sometimes too, but I find that they don't always have, like sometimes I'll look something up and it's not there, and then I go to Poshmark and there's a whole bunch there. So I use a whole bunch of that. Like I like Sellhound to look because you can see how it's on different markets. But I also like Completely. I don't. Do you guys use Completely?
What is it? No, I've never heard of that one.
It's strictly eBay. So that's why I use various different ones depending on what I'm looking at. Ashley's asking, Sellhound is a app and a website. So when I'm doing listings, I'll look it up on my computer as well.
You have to know the exact style name when you look on Sellhound.
No. Okay.
No, I find just like pink leather or orchid glitter. Like
I can. I'll bring up the. I can bring up the website. Hold on. So for Completely though, hold on, I can't talk at the same time. I'm lying. I'm bringing up the website really quick so you can see if I can remember.
I still think the tried and true way while you're bringing it up is to go into an app like Poshmark and sort by sold and then by like whatever pricing categories. I still always think that's going to be whatever platform you're on, looking at recent solds is going to be the best tried and true way to compare.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So when I share a screen, I can't see you anymore. So if you were to look it up, like let's say you had a Kate Spade tote. And it looks similar like this, obviously on the app. And then it brings up your sold for like eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, anything that it would be on, Grailed, Etsy, Revolved. And then you can like click and say, okay, well, I'm going to go on eBay. Let me see if I found, oh, there's my exact one. You can click on it and then it will take you to the eBay.
Yeah.
Or Poshmark or whatever it is. So I like that more when I'm doing, let me figure out how to get back to you. There I am. I like doing that when I am listing because it helps me find the style name quicker because I can look at the pictures and the comps. When I'm out at stores too, I like Completely because it is just eBay, but it has more stats. So it has like sell-through rate because they have a high value. But if it's like a 3% sell-through rate, I'm like, well, this is just going to sit for me forever, right?
And I was going to touch on that. Comps are super, super important, but with experience, like as you sell for a long period of time, you can start to get a general feel for things. Checking comps is always going to be important, but I don't even feel like I always check comps. Like for me, if I'm like, I'm listing this at 50% off retail, no matter what. So that still happens as well.
Yeah. And I think that, if it's something new or to find, because sometimes there'll be like a new or a brand that I've sold before, but I'm like that.
And you just know what they sell for.
Yeah. So someone says they sometimes find more things searching on Google and then it's cutting off because of the way that my screen looks. And I find that's the case too. Like if I don't know the style number, I'll look in Google first to find it.
Another thing with that being said, Kristen from Voyage is a Verb, she talks about this a lot. If you're searching Google for a comp and all of the search results that come up first are all Poshmark, you can kind of tell like that's something that might be saturated on the market. If it comes up first on Revolve and it's currently selling on, this place and that place and it's new in store still, like you can kind of get a better idea of, are all these search results already on Poshmark or are most of them already in store and I might have something that's in higher demand?
Yeah, that's about it. Okay, photographing apps. And I feel like, sorry, my husband, I can like hear my kids upstairs. Like yelling and screaming. I got distracted.
You have that mommy superpower hearing.
My husband's home now, so like it's his deal, but I still hear it. So photographing apps, and this I think will probably go a little. We can get into reselling, but then also you guys are both on social media, and so what photographing apps to use for reselling, but then also for Instagram? Regina, are there ones that you are using? Like, how do you go about doing it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just take the photos on my phone, but then I have like a few different editing apps that I like. So sometimes I'll even edit them like on the camera roll. You know how like iPhone has like the feature where you can like edit it and do either just like I'll either do like the wand, the auto edit, or like do the vivid filter, and you can like adjust the you can adjust like how strong it is. So I'll do that. I also like VSCO. Yeah.
What kind of phone do you have? Because I think the older, I don't think mine has all those. Like if you have the newer ones, you know, it's good.
I have it's the 11.
Yeah, I think
you should be able to adjust like brightness and things like that. I think on some of the older models of iPhone, but not the new fancy stuff.
You can do free version on VSCO, and that's like just a good way to like do the brightness, like just like it's really easy to edit things.
What is it?
VSCO.
VSCO, Visco or whatever.
But I love that. I've never used it.
Oh yeah.
They have a good copy and paste, like a one touch. Like if you really like the way lighting, you can just apply it to everything.
Yeah, that's another good feature.
Yeah, I use Pick Tap Go, which does the same thing. You can adjust the natural, and then you can like do it to all of your photos. Yeah. Okay.
I like Afterlight is another good photo editing app. You can like that's how I like blur out if I want to post like a posh package pic on Instagram and there's like an actual like address on the shipping label. I'll like blur it out with Afterlight. You have other cool effects, like you could do like the dust feature, which is like a little retro vibe for Instagram. And another a few cool filters.
Okay, so I'm going to ask both of you, after this, it's going to be a recording. Can you go into the comments and like type all these out?
And
I share to your stories or something, because I'm trying to write them down, but I'm sure I'm going to like butcher them, and I want to like.
I have experience with so many photo editing apps because I'm like almost too obsessed. When I've talked about this before at like Posh and Sips and things like that, I tell people, please do not think that you need to do this for all of your listings, because I'm like, I use this app for this and then this one for this and then put it in here and turn it upside down in that one. It's
hard because time is money. So you want it to look good because people are going to see it. And I've started editing my cover and then kind of just leaving the rest. So I'll go in when I take a picture and use the bright thing as I'm taking the photo. But as far as like making it look good, I do my cover shot, and then the rest I kind of just let, because you can't spend hours on editing for like a $20 top.
No, it's true. And I've recently made some changes that were hard for me. I'm a super adventurous person, but I find that when I'm like forced to change things, I'm resistant. But I love Pick Tap Go, and I absolutely love Snapseed. And the aesthetic of my closet, I take pictures either on my mannequin or flat lays. I just recently started using some replica surfaces, which I love, but just, it's like not a stark white background, but it's a very light background, but it's still got a little bit of warmth to it. And I've just gotten accustomed to that's the way that my closet looks. But it limits me because I use natural daylight. I work full time, so I essentially have my lunch break to photograph for Saturdays. If I have to like move my office around a certain way to get in the right light, and then if something's sticking out on the side, I have to use an app, which is awesome, that I use to remove images, but like you were saying, it takes a really long time. And so I decided to at least try for a little bit, and so much is trial and error, and I just try it for a while and see what happens. I'm removing my backgrounds completely, and I'm using an app called Photo Room. I've shared about it a bunch. Photo Room, and they do have a free version, but the cutouts aren't in HD, so it's still a little bit of blur. You have to manually go in and fix things. I think I paid like $30 for the pro version, and it's one-click background removal. I can photograph way more of the day because I'm not super worried about how the light's affecting the color of the wall.
Yeah, I'll have to get that, because I don't do it so much on Poshmark because I don't care for it to be that white. But like on Instagram, I like my background to be like
that. So I struggle with that because I feel like the stark white, and it looks beautiful, but sometimes it can have more of a commercial feel, and I just kind of like warmer. But if I can't list because I don't have the time,
then you're not making money.
I have to do something. So I'm trying it out. And I mean, honestly, with this thing, you can throw it right on the couch if I don't do that, but it just makes it a lot easier. It gives me a lot more flexibility. And as a reseller that still works a 40+ hour a week job, I have to have as much flexibility as possible. So if I don't absolutely love the way my feed looks with the start white background, as opposed to I can't list anything till next Saturday.
You gotta find that balance for sure.
Yeah, totally.
So I had a question and then I forgot. As far as like Instagram photos go, do you use, like, I downloaded some filters and then I would put them on my stuff and I'm like, well, now my shirt looks pink.
I'm orange.
It looks weird. And like, so I bought some like presets and stuff for Lightroom. I think that's Lightroom, is that what it's called?
Yes.
And I never use them.
Lightroom is my number one. Lightroom CC, I pretty much do everything through that. It's complicated and it takes a while to get used to it. And I did start out by purchasing presets, but then I spent a lot of time making adjustments, like you're saying.
So do you have a background in photography, or are you just like OCD?
I'm super no.
Okay. I mean, you were saying all the things. I would never try to like change the preset.
No, I honestly,
that I bought, I don't feel like worked right. So I
will overanalyze something until it's not alive anymore. Pick it. But yeah, totally. So, but what you can do is you can kind of like, if you have a preset and your skin's a little orange, you can just bring down the brightness a little and change that. Oh, I can see.
I don't know how I did that. That's exciting. I don't know how I did that.
Cool.
No, we already did that one. Sorry, guys. I'm having technical difficulties. It's telling me that there's more comments. Oh, there we go. Okay.
I also know
more comments and then we lost them.
XO Rachel just released some presets that she made specific to resellers that are supposed to not do those drastic color changes, but they just kind of brighten up or do this or that. So
I just use the Pick Go for natural. Do you use, Regina, do you use Lightroom and do any presets and stuff for your Instagram?
On VSCO, you can like create filters. Like you could create your own filters by like saving like certain edits. And so I've done that, and I'll just like apply those to my photos for for Poshmark.
Yours looks very
cohesive.
Yes.
Yeah,
and so I would think that you used filters, but they're ones that you just come up like you.
Yeah, they're things that like I have maybe like 5 that like I'll alternate between, like depending on the lighting setup. But yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like in winter time, I tend to try to go like a little whiter and brighter, but in summer, especially because I'm a total beach baby, like everything's bright blue skies and bright, yellow sun. So you can kind of see seasonally how my feed starts to change.
Y'all need to teach. Someone needs to teach a class on this. I'm sure there are classes, but I am just like making it up as I go. And I'm like, I like pink.
Yeah, but that's what you do. You make it up as you go until you figure out what you want.
I err on the side of not doing a lot because I was doing like a lot of pink filters and I was like, that just makes me look weird. And I don't know if you guys follow me, myself, and Donuts.
Yes.
So she's like a social media and she does graphic design for her job. And so she's like helped me a lot too. And she's like, it's too much pink, Sarah. Like, stop.
That's what's so awesome about our community, though. Like, there's so many awesome people in our community that if you do like something, most people are willing, just shoot them a DM and reach out. And I'm always willing to help, like anytime I can.
Yeah. So everyone is agreeing that they do the cover only. That's good to know. Okay, so photographing apps, I think we've covered it all. There's a ton out there. Hopefully you guys are going to leave the ones that you use down below, or even on your stories. They can come to your stories or something. Social media apps. So both of your social medias, I love. Regina, I'm going to ask, you have like 17,000. You have the swipe up. That's all I know. And
that's all we all want. I just want that swipe up feature.
All of the workarounds that I'm doing to like get people to go to my link, I'm like, this would be so much easier.
Yeah.
You could. So tell us, this isn't an app. I mean, it's on Instagram, but tell us a little bit about like how you work social media to kind of get the followers and the engagement and anything that you have for that.
I think just what's important is like being consistent and putting in the time and effort. Like for probably like the first year of my Instagram, I posted every single day. Like,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't really like batch out photos. Like I would take that photo like before I'd go to work and then like post it on my lunch break. So I was just really dedicated to growing my Instagram. And then the apps that I love to use for Instagram, they have a few different kinds, but like Preview or Unum, UNUM.
What is Unum?
UNUM, Unum. Or Preview does the same thing, and a couple other ones do the same thing, where you can like see what your photos will look like together on your feed before posting them. So if you have like an idea of like, oh, I think I want to post this one tomorrow, like how does it look like with my feed, to make sure there's like the cohesion. So I really like doing that. And then
now, do you post from any of those apps? Because I've heard mixed reviews about Instagram.
You don't I don't auto post, but I will manually share from Preview.
So you use it, you use it just to look at it, and then you actually post from Instagram.
I do know somebody who uses it to like plan out their posts. I don't from
because I've heard that Instagram doesn't like if
they're not loving it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've recently heard a lot too. Any of the tracker apps, like the ones that track your followers or who's like, I've definitely heard some stories about accounts getting shut down for apps that are third party. So I do use Preview myself for my layout, but I don't schedule them to auto do anything for me. I just use it as like my own visual guide, but I'm still manually doing all my posts. And like you said, I think I started our Instagram account when we started the business in 2017, but I didn't start showing it any love until not this December, but the December before that. And the whole first year, I posted every single day, and I kept my stories full the whole time. And I still essentially do that. And
let's talk about, because I'm posting every single day, and there's a lot of people out there, and it's the same on YouTube or any social media. Like getting those first 100 is hard, and then getting like the first, and then once you get like the 10,000, then like it's kind of a snowball effect. But those first ones are hard. So like you're posting every day, but how do you get? This is not an app question, but I think questions
it's about important though.
I would say, knowing what your followers are responding to, like going through your, if you have a business Instagram, you could go through your logistics and see like which posts are performing well, which stories are doing well, like what's getting the most activity, what's getting the most engagement. I also like would post and try to like raise my engagement by asking a question or like
and relative hashtag
to do something. Or I think it's about
like something that's gonna save. I've heard that saving posts like
is like a super like. I've heard that as well. And you know what? Yeah, I do try to do that. When I post a posh package pic, I'll try and do like tips or like how I'm changing my Insta or my Poshmark game, or do something that's like people can save and reference back.
Yeah, the engagement really boosts because, you know, the more people that are saving, commenting, the more that Instagram's going to push it out and your visibility to other people. And I did want to say, like, for me, Tanya Kara, she's Tanyakara _. She's a posher. She's a PFF in Los Angeles, so she's my neighbor to the north. She runs her own social media marketing business, and like I kind of stumbled across one of her posts one day, and whatever she was talking about just resonated with me. But my biggest thing when I started with Instagram, I felt I'm very outgoing in social, but I felt really strange about like searching a hashtag like Poshmark seller and finding all the people that use that hashtag in the community and then randomly commenting on strangers' posts. I just could not get over that. No, but that honestly, that is the biggest hurdle that Tanya actually helped me overcome, which is what helped me grow my following. But Tanya always talks about authenticity, like how important it is to engage, but that you don't just go through 20 people's posts and say, cute, 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 cute. Like she really helped me a lot in the beginning to build, and she's super helpful to anyone if you want to give her a follow. But that was
let me type her name in the comments. Maybe that's how I do it. How do you start?
It's Tanyakara _. So her whole thing is really about
Regina, we lost you.
Engagement. Oh no.
Regina, hello.
I'm so sorry. I had to let my dog out. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
I got it. So the last live that I did, it froze, and she had to go out and come back in. So I was just like awkwardly like,
I'm so sorry.
So one day, Tanya sorry.
Okay. Someone's asking the difference between business and regular. And Regina, I will say, I mean, y'all know I love my data, and the analytics on Instagram definitely helps looking at what is, and you have to. So for me, I care about like profiles and website clicks because I want people going to my YouTube, buying things. And so I go through and look at like, okay, what posts am I doing that's getting the most of those? But you can like filter different ways, and you can only get those analytics if you have a business
account. Yep.
So that's the big difference between the two. So if you're doing it for business, for Posh or whatever, you definitely want a business
convert to a business account for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's social media. I think we kind of got off track of the app that helped for that. Oh, there is one more that I use, and it's called, hold on, plan something. Just plan.
For hashtags.
PLANN, and it's hashtag research is extremely daunting, but if you don't do it, then if you like use banned ones, you get in trouble, or if you use them I mean, it's like a whole new like learning it all is intense. But Planet, you can go through and quickly type out like Poshmark, and then it'll give you all of the Poshmark ones that are like good to go. So I use that, and you can use it on your computer as well. But that's all I use it for is hashtags.
Yeah, and I just recently saw something where like Instagram has banned hashtags, but you don't even really know about it. Like Thanksgiving Day could be banned, and if you use it, you get shadow banned, but they never tell you. So you like have to search it and see if it says your content won't be seen. It's so crazy. It really gets a little nutty.
I know, it's intense, and that's why I'm like,
Thanksgiving Day, really? I'm in trouble.
I want to have it's on my schedule to have social media people on here to talk to.
So Tanya actually came down and gave a workshop. We made it a Posh and Sip here in San Diego, and we did a social media workshop, Posh and Sip. So she might be someone that would be willing to do that.
Who is it?
Tanya, Kara, the one that I
Let me write that down. Yeah, I was supposed to have hold on.
That's what she does. She just does these amazing social media workshops for like realtors and poshers and
Tracy for Me, Myself, and Donuts was supposed to come on, and I mean we had it scheduled and everything, and then she was working like until 2:00 in the morning for her regular job, and we had to cancel it. And then
I get that.
Our life has happened. Okay, so we're getting close to time, but let's talk about business apps because we were all doing this as a business. And so if there's any type of business apps that you're using, my live the other day was on like taxes and bookkeeping. So if you have any apps like that, or that's really that's what I came up with for me. But if there are other business apps, Regina, do you have any?
I don't. I use like Google Sheets for like keeping track of my inventory and stuff. That's not an app. I honestly, I would love to hear what you guys use.
Yeah, I've got a few.
Yeah, there's an app for Google Sheets.
Yeah, but it's like it doesn't make like sense to use it as an app. Yeah.
So this is kind of my miscellaneous ones, my business apps, but there were a couple that I wanted to share about that I love. There's one that I'm no longer using. I stopped using it when Poshmark came out with the sales report, because before that was available to us, we had zero way of tracking anything, and that was Bottom Line. And they do have a free version. I haven't been on there in a long time, so I'm not sure how they've changed, but it's a really great way to like track everything as you're posting and all kinds of stuff.
Like, what is it too? Like it interfaces with Poshmark?
Well, no, it's you enter in the information, but like you can kind of put in what you posted with the picture, how much you paid, when it sells, all this stuff, and then it kind of graphs things out. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just like your dashboard better for stuff like that.
So I'm asking because I'm like, all right, what's my competition here? But I'm also curious, like,
very helpful in the beginning because it was a mobile app, and I actually put my boyfriend on the task because I say we're a posh family. Like my sisters, my boyfriend, my mom, we're all doing this stuff, and that was
my husband's my CFO.
So he used to go into Posh and go through my sales and one by one type in what sold for how much and what date it sold into the bottom line app. And then that would kind of give us our monthly totals but they never had back then, and I don't know if they do now, they didn't have the ability to put in the cost of goods. So I was still lacking a part of it, but that was something that I used in the beginning.
Like upload a CSV or anything now?
You might be able, when I started using it, they were like just out of beta. And it was all still really simple, but I know that there are like apps like that where you can track your inventory and things like that. Another one that I really love that's just super simple is the USPS mobile app. I schedule all of my pickups. I go on every night at like 5 p.m. You can schedule recurring pickups for like a month. And I used to do it on my computer, but now with the app, it's one touch. I duplicate all of my information and it gives me my confirmation number right there.
What do you mean by one touch? Because I still go online and do it. Like,
so if you
just touch it, it like duplicates from yesterday.
So it'll show you your order from yesterday and it has a little blue button that says duplicate, and you press it and it just fills in the same information, and you can change the amount of packages and the weight if you want, but it populates your name and your address
and your notes and everything.
Notes.
Yeah, because I have a bench on my front, because I leave it. Well, obviously we're talking about.
Oh yeah, where you say like front door or whatever.
Yeah, and then there's a note, so I have to leave a code for them to know how to pick it up. Like what?
Yeah, I don't think I use that, even though I have a gate code. I don't think I use that part, but I'm sure you can. It just took everything that I was doing manually on the computer all the time and made it like duplicate, done.
Yeah, that's genius.
You can track on their order.
I just hope that they do their job well.
It's always
my schedule.
What's that?
I schedule pickups and they don't come.
Oh, really?
It happens. It really happens. I've dealt with.
So when I first started doing it, I like stalked my mailman. Like I waited and I was like, I'm gonna be doing this regularly, and then I like left him cookies and to bribe him, and then now like.
So I'm on such a busy route in my area that my mailman just constantly changes. So I've formed relationships with my mailman. The one like when his daughter was born, we were giving them gifts. Like you really get to know them, and then they're just gone. And it's happened. I've been in my apartment for almost 10 years now, and I've probably gone through 75 mail carriers. So.
Yeah. We have a couple new joiners. Callie Picker, hello. Thanks for joining. Eileen is. Oh, hi, Eileen. I know Eileen. Well, I know of Eileen. We live like 2 hours away from each other and met on social media, never in real life. Okay, I'm writing all these down, and I'm probably.
And Mile IQ for your mileage to track.
Is that one free?
So my mom actually is the one in charge of the Mile IQ because she's the one that travels most. I'm like practically blind and I don't drive unless someone's driving me. I do drive, but I don't like to. So my mom actually does the Mile IQ app. So I'm not sure if they have a free version or a paid version, but it'll even track you like walking. So I don't know how that all plays into it, but I know we do use our tax attorney prepares our taxes, and my mom just downloads whatever's on the Mile IQ app for that year and sends it right to her.
I just kind of I'm not fancy with my business. My only business app, well, let me look, is Google Sheets. I don't.
Let me see if I
have a dashboard for my finances, and so I don't like. Some people use QuickBooks or Quicken and stuff, and I have it like built in Google Sheets, and I just go in there and update all my expenses and stuff.
Like you made your own.
Well, my husband made it. He does financial dashboards. So
honestly, you're better than me because I just depend on that Poshmark seller report so much. I'm like, I don't want to do any bookkeeping.
Yeah, but you have to do bookkeeping watch my video on Monday. You have to do bookkeeping for like your expenses and all of that. So
I let it sneak up on me every year, and then right before taxes are due for like a month, I'm like scrambling. So I absolutely have to get better with my bookkeeping.
I think and then I'm on YouTube, so I'll share. This goes back to social media, but because I am on YouTube, if there are YouTubers watching, I have YouTube Tracker and YouTube Studio, which are like analytical. They're free, but they're analytical apps that kind of track your analytics in YouTube, because YouTube doesn't. This is going to be boring for you, so I'll say it quickly. But YouTube doesn't. Their mobile YouTube is not great. It's kind of like eBay. Like you can't get to nearly anything on their mobile app. But these have like like I can quickly look at my stats on a video, where on the YouTube app you can't do that. And then the tracker kind of just tells you like where you are to get like how your views are and all of that stuff.
Do you have video editing apps on your phone, or do you do it all on the computer?
Yeah. So, and that was the other thing that I was going to say. I have the iMovie app on my phone. Because I do, so for YouTube, I do all of my, and I am by no means an expert in this.
I was going to say, like, I'll teach you stuff if you teach me how to do YouTube.
Yeah, I'll teach you. It's intense. I mean, it's intense.
I can imagine.
Intense. But I have a Mac, and I do all of the photo editing on iMovie, which is really, I mean, it's very simplistic. I just kind of started doing it. It's very easy compared to other things. There is an iMovie app that I have on my phone, and I tried to edit like an IGTV really quickly, and it was because it's so small, so like trying to like move and edit, it was really hard to do on my phone. But I do know people, her name's Michelle, I'm trying to think, her engineer something, I don't know.
Engineer at Play.
Yes, thank you. She does
I hope I didn't butcher that, Michelle.
Yeah, she does a lot of really cool, like she'll film the Poshing and do interviews for IGTV, and she'll like do like split, and she does a lot of really cool things on her phone.
Cut Story is an app that I've used for that, where if you film a video, any pauses where there's no audio, they cut out, so it kind of gives you that where you see where they pop back in and out.
Oh,
so that's called Cut Story. So that's something that you can use. I don't know anything about the YouTube editing, and I'm by no means wonderful with the video, but Cut Story is one that I did attempt. If you could see how many video and photo editing apps I've downloaded, they're not on my phone, but there's like 70 in there of that I've at least tried to figure out how to use.
I think we want to. And so after this, I definitely want you guys to leave comments down below. But if you could take like screenshots of your photos and share it to your story, so people can like, because we've had a couple of people have asked like,
yeah. And you can DM me on Instagram anytime. Like I work 98 hours a week, but as soon as I can get to them, I always do. I'll never leave you hanging if you have questions.
Sorry, I'm reading comments. Oh yeah, so someone is saying they do lives too. So I'm going through and making sure I didn't miss anything on here. If you guys have I have Google Docs on my phone too, because I do a lot of, well, now that I have List Perfectly, I don't, but I used to do the listings in Google Docs and then just copy and paste from there. Etsy,
I can find notes for that, which is something that's like on the iPhone already. You can you can access it on your MacBook, which is cool.
Oh,
that's cool. Yeah, I don't have Mac because I totally use my notes in my phone, but I've never tried to send it to anything else.
Mac is genius. We were talking about this before we went live, that's how they get you. Everything is integrated. And I just bought a brand new Mac because I was like, I don't want, like, I can copy on my phone and paste it on my computer.
I love that so much. I'm over here with Dropbox. That's another one, Dropbox. I use Dropbox a lot because I like drop it off my phone onto Dropbox and then try to Dropbox it onto my laptop.
Yeah, I have Dropbox for like clients, like if I do a consult or something, but having all your Macs integrated, like everything.
Oh, I can imagine. That must be so nice.
It's delightful. I'm trying to think. I'm looking through mine to see if there's anything else that PayPal, if you do eBay.
That was another one I just downloaded. They have a separate app now, and I don't know how necessary it is, but like when I see one, I want it. That's just for invoices. It's like PayPal for business invoice, and it's just a real quick, like you download it, it connects in, and then you can just real easily send people invoices. I don't do a lot of selling from my Instagram, but sometimes if I'm doing like a little mini haul video, someone will reach out and be like, oh, I love that, and I'm like, oh, okay, PayPal me, and then I'm like, it would be nice
to have
and be professional about it instead of just like, oh, here's my link and hope I get.
Oh, I mean, it's Instagram. No one.
Oh, I know. But if you wanted to get, have your own website, and I know, Shopify, things like that, those are other apps for if you want to start reselling completely on your own, separate from platforms. I did want to mention Shopify. My Shopify store has been dormant forever because I just haven't gotten to it, but it's great.
It's so much extra work. I'll pay someone 20% to do all that work for me.
And the protection.
Someone is asking if we do. So they just joined, Callie Picker. But what apps do you use for keywords? Is there specific apps for keywords?
To look up keywords to research good keywords, or
yeah, I guess.
I don't use any.
Yeah, I just know. I mean, we talked about this earlier. If you want to scroll back at the recording, we're just looking up comps and doing that.
For like search engine optimization, like how to know what the good keywords are. I don't think other than maybe just like Googling and reading different articles and things. I can't think off the top of my head of any apps that say like here's good search engine optimization.
When you're looking up comps, I mean, essentially that's what we're doing, right? Like I'll look up a comp and then I'll find the comp that sold the highest and use their keyword because like people were looking for that, right?
I think that's not as descriptive as possible. Like if you, as much as you can fit in there as far as like the name, the style, those are all important keywords to have.
Yeah, but they're not like a specific, like someone needs to come up with an app. Who knows how to write an app?
I think that it changes so much. Like that kind of thing changes so much of like, what's hot and trending and what are people searching for and what. That definitely changes.
I know. And then it makes like we can't automate everything, right? Okay.
Just out your thesaurus.
Yeah, we're getting to the end of the time. Amber said she just joined. What did she miss? And I'm going to tell you all the things. Go back and watch it. Lots of apps were talked about. We are all going to leave comments down below if we can remember what we talked about, or maybe share screenshots in our stories. But I do want to, I think we covered everything that I wanted to talk about. For bookkeeping, a lot of people use QuickBooks or Quicken. So that's something too, if you're kind of doing this as a business. Although if you are making any revenue for it, you do need, I'm going to do the little disclaimer. If you're making any revenue, you do need to claim it. Before we go, I thought I had a question. Hold on.
Your dashboard, I know we wanted to touch on real quickly because that is such an awesome resource.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're welcome to talk all about my dashboard. Have at it.
So I actually just purchased your dashboard recently, and I haven't had the chance to dive as deep into my analytics as I would like to, but I was amazed. Like it gave me, and it was really funny because you are very clear when you purchase about the steps that you need to take and watch this tutorial. And I did it, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And my computer like shut down on me in the middle. And then when I went back to try to get back to where I was, I like hit a button and it sent you a request for access. And you like messaged me like, you don't need access. Look at the steps. I'm like, I swear I looked at the steps. In the morning and I'm like, no, I mean, you probably get so frustrated. Like I spend so much time outlining how to do this. Don't message me with weird stuff. But I'm like, I swear I did what you said. But anyway, I had like a, oh my gosh moment when it did work because it just instantly like visually boom 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 gives you all your numbers, separates everything by category, shows you what's doing great, and it's just I can't wait to dig deeper into it. And I know that you offer so much support with it. You have a Facebook group, you offer one-on-one time, and it's an amazing tool to be able. I'm all about analytics. I'm a medical coder, so I work with analytics in medicine all day long. So sometimes my brain is just fried by the time it comes to Posh. And
I'm trying to make it, and so I'm always open to ideas and questions that you guys. Oh, my husband. I'm always open to ideas that you have because I am trying. Like I'm an analytical person, and I want to look at all the things, but I don't want. Like I want it to be a quick, like you can look at it and be like, boom, boom, this is
yours absolutely is.
Have ideas or questions. Well, that's great to hear. So everyone go buy my dashboard.
Grab it.
It is because we are talking about apps. I'm working, so I am not a coder by any means. I'm trying to figure it all out. It is only, you can only edit it on Google Docs on a computer because there's a macro in it. I'm trying to figure out, if anyone knows coding, I'm trying to figure out how to convert that to an app script.
That was the confusing part because I wasn't used to it, and I'm like, I don't know how. And then because it shut down in the middle, and I lost your instructions, and I had already watched.
Yeah,
the
so
video
then you like thought you broke it or something. Yeah,
was it all? Ah!
I had to be like over scary just to make sure I didn't. It's not the end of the world. I mean, we will figure it out. I've had people and we figured it out. It's not that I have to like correct in my instructions. But eventually I'm hoping that you can get it on, I can figure out how to do the back end of it to get it so you guys can use it on the Google Sheets app.
Like apply it onto Excel and things like that as well? Or do you, because right now you can only do it on Google Sheets, right?
Yeah, and I did a beta test. Oh, now I'm being interviewed. Okay. I did a beta test.
Tell us.
No, I don't know. I did a beta, when I first started, I did a beta test because I had something for myself and people kept telling me like they wanted to use it. And I'm like, well, it's like very specific to me. So I need to make sure to make it like wide so everyone can use it. So I did a beta test, and one of the most important things that people said in the beta test, it was like 96% of people wanted it in Google Sheets because they don't own Excel. They don't want to buy Excel. They don't know how to use Excel. Like they want to be able to use it on their grandma's computer when they're on vacation. Like that was the most important thing. And so I don't know anything about Google Sheets. I mean, I do now.
Right.
Excel, and then like
you
really
probably had to troubleshoot with people enough that you know it inside out and backwards.
Yeah, no, and I figured it out, but that was really important to me to keep it in Google Sheets so that you don't have to pay for software on top of having it. So I don't know, unless I get to the point where Google Sheets isn't sophisticated enough, that I would take it outside of Google Sheets because I want it to be easily accessible for everybody. I mean, honestly, I don't have Excel. I'd have to buy Excel to put it in Excel.
See, I still do everything in Excel, but it's a lot to do with my job one, and I almost feel like a little bit of a dinosaur. I'm like, wait a second, when did Excel get not cool?
Oh, no, Excel's way better, and I get all pissy because I'm like, I could totally do this in Excel easily, and I have to like figure out how to do it in Google. It just costs money, and
right.
I did it when I was like working in corporate America, and they paid for it. Like.
I hear you. The way you have it works. So if it works, why change it?
I did want to ask, so Regina, you just went full time, That's so
exciting, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you. Tell us kind of about that. We are kind of, oh yeah, we went over. So if you have time, I don't want to keep you.
Yeah, no, it's really quick. Honestly, like I wasn't making a full-time salary already with Poshmark. I didn't like get up to a certain amount of listings. I was just like, I don't want to do my like day job anymore. Like I'm ready to just do what I love full time. I also do like custom drawings for thank you cards. So that's like a supplementary income. And then right now I'm working on like some upcycling projects. So I do have like a few other side things, but I just figured like, and I mean, I calculated my sell-through rate after I quit my job, but I was just like, I can do this, you know, like I feel like I already had like the basics, and I just needed like more time and more effort, and then it would just lead to full-time salary. That's what I'm doing right now. We'll see. Like,
keep us
good. I don't regret it.
What was that? I keep us posted on how it goes because it's interesting. I feel like you won't ever really know if you can do it until you have to have time to commit to it.
That's how we did it with my mom. Like we honestly were like, what can we do over the next year to see where we can get?
Yeah.
You can make it work. If you want something, you can make it work. You just have to take that like leap of faith, you know?
Which is super scary. So we give you a lot of credit.
Yes. And I mean, especially when you're first starting a business, time has to be on your side. You can't, and like social media, like any of this, you can't expect to grow on social media if you're not on social media. You can't expect to like sell items if you're not listing items. Like
everything is you get back what you put in, and the whole consistency is key. Like Regina said earlier, I tell everyone, number one, consistency. I don't care if you can only post one thing a day, post one thing every single day. Or, you know, and
well, now you're making me feel bad because I haven't done anything for reselling in a week. I take that back. I haven't done because I have like supplement, like I do YouTube and I do a
You
dashboard.
do so much.
Yeah, I haven't listed anything in a week, and I am like starting to feel the pressure.
But you also have to like I looked at like what is making me the most money. My cards make me a lot of money, so like I need to be putting in
Put
like
attention there.
Yeah, I need to put aside time for that.
Yes,
and if the cup is empty, no one drinks, so we can't like spread ourselves so thin. So I do that a lot. I'm very hard on myself when I'm not like living up to my own expectations, and I just kind of have to tell myself, like, if you can't list today during your 16-hour workday between Posh and job one on your lunch break because you're so tired you want to fall over, you're okay.
And I don't actually, to be honest, I don't really feel that bad because I'm still making sales. So, and I mean, to your point, Regina, like I'm putting my time into, I really enjoy the dashboard and I think it's going to get places a lot higher once I get more word out. And that's what YouTube and Instagram are for. So while I don't make money.
And that's the beauty of this is you can shift. You can always shift. If 2 months from now you want to put more energy into a different aspect of your business, you can
I'm going to run out of energy because my first full-time job is 3 children. Which is
crazy.
Like no energy, especially because I have a 2-year-old and an autistic kid. So like no energy, and then I work full time on top of that. Anyway, I think we could all chat forever and ever and ever, but I don't want to keep you guys too late. I do want to, if you guys have a few minutes after this video, it usually takes like 10 to 15 minutes, or you can come back tomorrow or whatever. If you remember any of the apps that you talked about, if you could type them in the comments down below and or share to your stories so that people can see. We had a lot of people asking what you guys are talking about. So on that note, thank you guys so much. If you are watching this in a recording, make sure to leave comments down below for me or Regina or Perri. I will make sure that they get those. They're very active on social media as well, so you can, the link to their information is in the in the description down below, and you can reach out to them if you need. They're both very, as you can tell from this, they have lots of knowledge on all the things, not just reseller apps. And so definitely reach out to them. Follow them on Instagram because their feeds are just very inspiring and beautiful to see and follow their journeys. Thank you for joining. Make sure to subscribe if you like content like this, data analytics and reseller tips. Sometimes I do hauls, but that's just showing things off. Mainly reseller tips and data analytics to help you meet your monetary goals. So on that note, I am going to call it a night, and thank you guys so much for joining me. And I hope
thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you.